We all are guilty of it. Negative self talk. We all do it at some point or another. Hi, my name is Tzipi Lifne. I'm a nurse and certified food addiction counselor, and welcome to my weekly Tzipi Live, my weekly vlog, which is now posting on my Facebook page, GPS to Sugar Free, at a new day and time, Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Israel time. So figure that out what time that is for yourselves if you don't live in Israel. And I want to talk about the fact of how negative self talk can be more fattening than a lot of very high calorie foods. Here's the fact: we all come down on ourselves sometimes. We all are unhappy with what we've done, how we feel, or how we're functioning at some point in time. As a matter of fact, Seth Godin, who is a very famous author and has written many books on entrepreneurship and business, says that if somebody doesn't have imposter syndrome, then something's wrong with them, because we all feel at some point inadequate. So we all feel at some point that we are failing at what we do, or we failed at what we did, or we did something stupid, or we did something ridiculous, or whatever it is. And it happens with food too. It happens with me with food. I've been close to 25 years living sugar and flour free, and that's such an empowering choice that I've made in my life. But if you think that there aren't times when I am unhappy with myself, with the way that I eat, and I come out saying, like, Tzipi, you really shouldn't have done that. You really shouldn't have eaten that way. Why did you do that? And it happens with food, my food, and it happens with other things too, because I'm not perfect. And I'm not perfect with my food either. But here's the thing. Here's how we can make sure that this negative self-talk does not send us into a cycle, a vicious cycle of coming down on myself. So then that means I'm not worth anything, which means I'm a failure. So what the heck, right? And then just stuffing my face to like make that feeling go away, or just feeling like, what does it matter? So I don't need to take care of myself, and then letting go and eating whatever's the most tempting thing, and just doing things that harm myself, right? And then the more you eat, the more you want, and the more you want, the more you eat, and then you get into this like vicious cycle of addictive eating once again. And if this is one of the things that I find are one of the major obstacles of a lot of my clients that I work with, is that the negative self-talk, first of all, we have to recognize that it's a natural part of human thinking. But that doesn't mean that it is a fact, what that negative self-talk is saying. It doesn't make it real. It also doesn't have to be what leads our choices or our actions from those negative self thoughts. So we can say, oh yeah, I'm coming down on myself now, but that's not going to change what I do. It's not going to change, it doesn't make it fact. So this is something that's very important. That's why I think it's very, very important when we find ourselves or catch ourselves thinking that those negative self-thoughts, to remember also to be soft on ourselves, and to remember that, yeah, human beings are not perfect, and we all screw up sometimes. We all do. And it's just a part of life. But that doesn't mean if I was not successful, or if I failed at something, that doesn't make me a failure. And it doesn't mean that I don't deserve the good things in life. And it doesn't mean that that frees me of the obligation of doing actions that are actions of self-love. The other way around. The more actions of self-love we do, then the lower the volume of that negative self-talk will be, and it will become less frequent, and it won't be this leading motif in our lives. And that's where we can make sure the negative self-talk is not fattening, right? That it doesn't make us gain weight, that it doesn't push us out of this cycle of food recovery and food freedom into that vicious cycle of food addiction and sugar addiction and compulsive overeating. So this is a very, very important thing to understand. On the one hand, I think that it's not realistic to expect of ourselves to never come down on ourselves. It happens. It's a natural way of thinking, but that doesn't mean that that has to be the deciding factor of what my actions are going to be now. I can recognize it, say, hello, negative self-talk, here you are, and know that it's going to go the same way that it comes. And it's a natural part of thinking. It doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it a fact. If I'm feeling like, I don't know, like a piece of dirt, that doesn't mean I am a piece of dirt. It means right now I'm feeling like a piece of dirt and it's going to go away soon. And many times, here's another misconception I think that people have is that people think that every act of self-love, that means it feels good, or it means I want to do it. It means I'm motivated to do it. And that's not necessarily true. When actually, I think it's even more than that. When every time that I prepare a meal for myself, when I didn't feel like doing it, and I prepared a healthy meal with vegetables and healthy fats and healthy proteins, right? And I do that even when I don't feel like it, that is the act of self-love. When I insist on putting myself first and my needs first, and especially when it comes to my food, before I take into consideration my husband, my children, my job, my parents, whatever it is, that comes first. Worrying about myself and making sure that I meet my needs, even when it's uncomfortable, those are acts of self-love. And those acts of self-love come as a wall against those negative self-thoughts that can come. And it gives them less power over me. And when I can recognize those thoughts as something that is a natural occurrence of my thinking, but doesn't make it so, then I can also make sure that that is not what defines my actions. What will define my actions are the acts that I do again and again and again, even when I don't feel like it, because I know that that's what's right for me, that that's what's going to give me in the long term a good life. So if you are watching this on my YouTube channel, or you're watching the recording on my Facebook page, please like this video. If you have what to say about it, give a comment about it. And if you're interested in the GPS to Sugar-Free program, well, please just reach out here in the comments or to me, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible if you would like to get your own personal plan to food freedom from sugar and food addiction. So have a great day and a great week, and I will see you again next week, Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Bye-bye.